Good morning, good afternoon from wherever you are listening and watching this from. Welcome back. Today I'm going to be taking us through a very interesting product which has been released by STMicroelectronics, which is actually an SoC system on chip and the series STM32WL3 family. We are going to explore and see the kind of features which makes this news. It's offering a sub-gigahertz communication with up to 15 years battery life, and it has an indicated wake-up radio. It supports its ability to support this modulation radios. So before we can get to that, let's just review the traditional way of doing things, which some of us have done before. Now you notice that if you are an embedded systems engineer and you want to create your own solution, sometimes you will find that you will use a chipset, and this chipset, most of the time, that the chipset you're using, they do not have a radio module, they do not have a communication module. So that means you will have to more of buy an interface radio communication module, or if you are using cellular networks, you also need to buy a cellular module. Like, say for example, if you want to use GSM technology, you will have to buy maybe an STM32 chipset, and then buy a GSM, say 800 series or 900 series, interface with it using a communication protocol at the interface, maybe UART, and send your data using the GSM. And if you're using LoRaWAN or Sigfox, you also would have to use either STM32 or maybe an Atmel chip, which is embedded in Arduino boards sometimes. And you could also sometimes, use any other chipset, which can vary, as I said, maybe STM. And you'd require to buy a radio module, which is LoRa enabled, or as well as maybe Sigfox enabled, and they use that radio module to more of communicate to a cloud platform. And definitely end goal is to get this data to the user. Now, why is the STM32WL3 family release a news? Now let's explore that into and see what kind of features it has. Now let's dive into this. So it's a ultra low power multi-modulation wireless series of microcontroller, which is actually an STM32WL3X series, and it's based on just a minute, I want to pick my pen. So it is based on Cortex M0 Plus. So whenever you see ARM Cortex M0 Plus core, these are very ultra low in terms of low power, in terms of microampere consumption when they are sending data. And it's also a super gigahertz radio with windband wake up radio. We shall see the frequency range for this windband, and also it supports multiple modulations, which we shall be seeing down there. IQ interface, custom modulations, and which are making it more flexible. Now it's also integrated with some long range wireless solution for IoT devices. This is really quite interesting because now I know most of you already know some of the long range wireless IoT protocols like Sigfox, LoRaWAN, Modbus wireless. We have NB-IoT, LTE, and Cat1, but we shall be seeing what exactly this chipset supports for this particular scope. Now we have three main features for this chipset, and the first one is the battery longevity. Now it's support up to 10 to 15 years battery life. And that means that if you are building your edge AI computing solutions which are already battery powered, or you are building your own IoT solutions, or you would require a very long battery life. And some of the use cases are such as in smart utilities, where you are monitoring things like water, gas, fuel, whereby you have to build a solution which is battery powered. So this chipset comes in handy as such, a time when you want to build such solutions. Another feature is sub-gigahertz radio, providing full flexibility. So it is supporting multiple modulation protocols, and this is reducing a lot of research and development efforts by giving you one single platform which will support many protocols like Sigfox, MBus, but they are very specific. This chipset is excluding LoRa for some reasons, and we will be seeing which exact modulations that it supports. So it's reducing design complexity, and this is very key. You remember so well that we mentioned about the traditional way of designing things, whereby you have to use a chipset and then a radio module. But for this case, you just have to use one SoC, that is system on chip. And this system on chip is going to be the microcontroller, it's going to be the radio module, and this is really a game changer in creating solutions. Okay, into the next, the product types an STM32WL3 series is providing dual radio architecture, which extends the battery life of IoT applications. Now it is supporting neutral low power sub-gigahertz, that is for transmitter and definitely the receiving side of the signal. And the main radio feature state of the art is the low power consumption with, as I was mentioning, with a transmission TX current down to 9 milliampere at 10 dBm. You will find that if you are transmitting a message at 9 milliampere, this means that your battery life, say you have like 1 ampere hour battery and you are sending like only 1 or 2 messages a day, you can do the months. This battery life can extend up to around 15 years, as I mentioned. There are available modulations and an high-Q interface, which is used in legacy and proprietary protocols like Sigfox. And these are actually the specific protocols which are supported: Sigfox, MBus Wireless, YSAN, LoWPAN, IoT. And the radio is suitable for systems, targeting compliance with radio regulations, including but not limited to these radio compliances. And the frequency is from 413 to 479 megahertz, and 4826 to 958 megahertz, which is supporting major sub-gigahertz ISM bands around the world, like Europe. And for example, whenever we mention Europe, Africa is also in this scope, because Sigfox for Europe is usually RC1, which is for uplink is 868.8 megahertz. And the same frequency is used in Africa or Kenya, SA, and other countries that are running this kind of communication protocols. Okay, now the wake up radio receiver. This wake up radio receiver in STM32WL3 series is providing a secondary radio feature, a low power autonomous wake up receiver, and achieving up to 4 microampere consumption in always on mode. So if this chip is on, the consumption power is 4 microampere. Do you know what micro means? Something very small. I don't know if I want to say it's significant, but something quite small, in that it's neutral low power. Okay, and for greater flexibility, definitely it support wide range bands, which ranges from 100 megahertz to 2.4 gigahertz. Does this mean that it could be also supporting NB-IoT if it was tweaked? Maybe yes, maybe not, but it's something worthy trying to explore, maybe, because NB-IoT frequency lies from around 900 megahertz to around 1800 megahertz. So it's something you can do more research, but they are very specific to what this chipset support, which are these communication protocols and modulations. This kind of chipset includes a wide variety of communication features, which are up to 32 GPIOs, and it comes in two main packages, which is QFN48, and we also have a 32 package, which is smaller size of 5 by 5 millimeter, quite a small chipset. It's very small, down to 5 by 5 millimeter. This is quite a small SoC processor, and a long range and low power capability is also a game changer when you are creating your solutions. And it is fully versatile, supporting multiple modulations and multiple protocol. This means that with one chipset you can run Sigfox, you can run Mbus wireless, you can run your own Merity, you can run YSAN. This is quite interesting. This chipset is already available for purchase in STMicroelectronics. I will provide a link in the description. Excuse me. So let's do some quite exploration on the circuit diagram of this SoC or this product. You will find that this chipset has got some 9 main subgroups or sub-regions which has been in the architecture. And the first one is the control. So powering, you can power using either 1.7 to 3.6 volt, which is a DC voltage, and it is supporting a very high crystal from 48 megahertz radio. It also support ADC. It has got a 12 bits ADC, and also it has some analog comparators. It has also got some LC sensor channels, temperature sensor inbuilt inside. You can be able to monitor the temperature of this chipset, the SoC itself. It supports different peripherals like SPI, which are two SPI peripheral. It has two I2C peripherals. It is supporting UART, USART, LPWANs. It's also supporting LCD driver like for 12 by 8, 16 by 8, and it has up to 12, 32 GPIOs, which you can use to more of add more peripherals and sensors to this SoC. Now it is ARM Cortex, and as I mentioned previously, M0 Plus. It is a ultra low power consumer, supporting up to 64 megahertz speed, and it has also the NVIC, that is Next-Gen Vector Interrupt Controller, which is usually very useful. And it also has got the MPU SWD interface, and also now it has got this radio, low power radio, which actually support different modulations like FSK, that is frequency shift keying. It also has got GMSK, it has ASK, and these other frequency modulations. It's quite interesting things that you can explore more on your own time. But the most important thing here is to note the power consumption when you are doing a transmission. 8 milliampere for transmission, and also 4 milliampere for receiving your signal. And also you can see we also given the frequency ranges that it support from 413 megahertz to, it was mentioned that it supports up to around 2.1 gigahertz frequency. It also has got this low power wake up radio receiver, which consumes only 4 microampere, very small energy when it is on in the autonomous mode. Okay, so it has also got some memory. Definitely this is very key when creating your solutions. It has got a flash memory of up to 256 kilobytes. This is flash memory, and a RAM of 32 kilobytes. And it has got a ROM secure bootloader. So this is quite interesting because it means that you can run a very big program in this SoC. And also it has got some internal buses, an AHB bus matrix, radio, direct radio register access, and some DMA 8-channel are also available in this chipset. And not forgetting, very key thing here on timers, it has got some internal timers, two 16-bit GP timers, and also a 16-bit prescaler C-stick RTC, and also very useful when it comes to control PWMs and some also watchdog timers. I hope that you've been able to learn something. Don't always forget to share, and remember to also subscribe. Thank you so much.